Honk honk toot toot, it's the podcast bus. And we got some spoiler swearing and opinions.
All aboard!
Ding dong, let's go.
Boop boop! Reasons to stay indoors. Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Kieran.
And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. We say stuff about them and we let you know whether to stay indoors or not. What are we watching, Kieran? Please help me. I'm stuck in this monotone way of talking.
This week we are watching Once Upon a Time in the West.
It's not that.
And it came out in 1930. No, it didn't.
No?
Came out in 1968.
There we go. 1968. And at the time of the recording?
At the time of recording, it is number 36 on the list.
Pretty high up there, isn't it?
It is quite high up there.
Have you seen this film?
No, I have not seen this film before, but I have heard of it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
From who?
Just,
Who?
I don't know, Jordan. Just from people. Just from.
Oh, you didn't hear about it just once? You've heard about it multiple times?
Oh my God, Jordan! Why'd you ask the dumbest?
I need to get to the center of this information.
I don't know. Whenever I say a point, sometimes like you just take it in a completely different direction than where I'm going.
Where are you going?
Where I was going with it was like, oh, I've not heard of this. I have heard of it before, but I've not seen it. The vibe I got from it is this, and that's generally what we do. But then every now and then you're just like, let me be a fucking detective right now. Maybe this is what your parents said in doing police.
Doing police, they sure did be.
I've done this before, haven't I? Doing police work, they probably just did really random questions at different points.
Your just brain really struggling with the concept of policing, like whether it's something you be or something you do.
Do you be police or do you do police? That's what I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. That is the question. All along, who'd have thought?
Have you seen this film?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Now, what do you think is going to happen?
I think it's probably a Western.
Okay.
I think there's probably going to be some cowboys. Maybe a few Indians.
Oh.
Maybe some horses, some trains.
Yeah. What about the whole bow wow bow wow?
I was wondering what the fuck that was.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's where this film is from.
Okay.
But maybe there might be something like that, some sort of weird thing like that. Maybe.
Cool. Okay. I have the exact same thoughts, to be honest.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That ties things up nicely.
Generic Western. Yeah.
Should we go and watch it then?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. And we're back with a couple of fast thoughts. Western. Harmonica. Cowboy.
One woman.
Railway.
Dust.
Guns.
Horses.
Drinking.
Little Timmy.
Gingers.
Did you make the coffee?
Yes, I made the coffee.
Cripple on the train.
Oh, no, I've lost again. I can't, no.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. Are you ready with a 15-second pitch?
Fuck me if I can just try and explain what the hell happens in this stupid plot.
Okay.
I'll give it a go.
3, 2, 1, go.
There's a dickhead that plays a harmonica and he fucks people up, but he becomes mates with people who try to fuck him up. He meets a woman who apparently doesn't get with anyone. They try and buy a plot of land and they make a railway next to it. The end.
12 seconds.
See, I can leave you wanting more, but like that's all I really got from this film.
Yeah, this film, I don't understand half of what happened, and the other half was shit.
I felt like it was I felt like in terms of the characters and like who they were, what they were doing, who they were friends with and who they weren't friends with was clear for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And considering the film is like what, 2 hours 40 minutes long?
Something like that, yeah.
It's like that is not enough time for me to have faith in the film like being good by any standard.
I just have and my set response to a film that's 2 hours and 45 minutes long is that it's not going to be good.
We've been permanently scarred by Stalker.
I think we have, yeah. I think we have.
And like so for a film to be that long and for us to stick with it, it's going to have to be real good. You know what? I think it is. I think it's the 2 hours 30 mark, because under 2 hours 30, we've had like I'm pretty sure like The Pianist last week.
Yeah,
that was well good. I'm pretty sure that was under 2 hours 30. Yeah. So was Life is Beautiful. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my thought about it being a good film.
Maybe.
But I'm like every
just
film.
Those 15 minutes you just can cut out.
Yeah.
It's probably all just zooming in on faces, isn't it?
Because that's pretty much what happened in. I mean, that's exactly what happened in Stalker.
Yeah.
In Stalker, it was zooming in and zooming out, whereas this one, it was just zooming in.
Just zooming in.
Yeah.
And stopping.
Yeah. For God's sake. So overall, the plot of the film was just so hard to keep track of, which is a good reason for us to use, again,
our new synopsis method.
Yeah. So let's check this out. This time, Jordan wants to have a go at reading the synopsis.
I've been practicing my letters.
Maybe he can say some words a bit clearer than...
I've been eating a lot of alphabeti spaghetti.
And I've been listening to the BBC's public sound library, and I'm going to bring out some sound effects.
So, you want to set the scene?
That's what it was, isn't it?
That's what it was, yeah. In the desert, southwest of America.
Sorry, no. I need to do it more times for you to be annoyed by it even more.
Fuck's sake.
Also, I'm going to do it at random points, so you know, because that's what happens in the film.
In the desert, southwest of America, during the waning days of the Old West, 3 gunmen approach an isolated train depot. 2 are wearing duster overcoats. The men take over the station and settle in to wait for the train. When the train finally comes, a nameless harmonica player playing stranger gets off and asks for someone named Frank. They tell him Frank sent them in his place. In the ensuing showdown, all 4 men go down. Only the man with the harmonica gets up again. On a remote farm called Sweetwater, Brett McBain and his children are playing an outdoor wedding feast. Planning an outdoor wedding feast.
Oh, okay.
No, preparing an outdoor...
How did you go for...
I don't know.
Where's your alphabet spaghetti now?
McBain tells his son Patrick to drive into town to pick up his new mother.
When we say drive, we mean like on a cattle and horse.
Yeah. Who is arriving by train from New Orleans. Suddenly, shots ring out from the desert, and McBain's daughter Maureen, son Patrick, and McBain himself are slain. Suddenly, I'm reading the same sentence again. The youngest McBain, Timmy, runs out of the house to find that his entire family have been destroyed.
Whoa. That's not an appropriate word to use.
He watches in terrified silence as a group of 5 gunmen in duster overcoats emerge from the scrub bush. When one of the men calls out their leader Frank by name.
Frank!
Asking what to do with the child.
What do we do with the child?
Frank draws his pistol and slowly takes aim at the last remaining witness. Aiming noise. With a self-satisfied grin, he pulls the trigger. In the town of Flagstone, McBain's bride, Jill, steps down from the train to find that no one is there to meet her.
Lonely.
Giving up hope, she steps through the train station into the bustling new town still being built. She hires a carriage to drive her to Sweetwater. The farm's names draw laughter from the driver. Sam, who informs her that Sweetwater is a worthless piece of ground, and McBain is crazy for trying to farm it.
Sweetwater is a worthless piece of ground. McBain is crazy for trying to farm it.
Along the way, Sam speeds through a group of railroad workers busily laying their damn rails. I don't know why it's...
Is that what they say?
Yeah, it says in quotes, damn rails.
Oh, okay.
Then he stops at a wayside inn/tavern/trading post. And Jill follows him inside. Her beauty draws the unwelcome attentions of the barman.
Hey, babe.
After a noisy off-screen gun battle, the outlaw Cheyenne enters wearing his shackles on his wrists.
How do they spell Cheyenne, by the way?
Yeah, it's Cheyenne.
That's exactly what I thought.
Oh, really? I got so far. I just named him the S guy.
Okay.
After a noise... the sound of
You go. Come on.
I've got the giggles now. The sound of a harmonica again reveals the presence of the stranger who has been watching from the dark corner of the tavern. Cheyenne dubs him harmonica.
Can you remind me of the melody again, please? That's what it was. Yes, it's more discordant than what I was doing.
Cheyenne dubs him harmonica, and he uses harmonica's gun to force another patron to shoot apart the chain between his wrists. Cheyenne's men soon arrive, too late to help him escape the prison guards, and now lie dead outside. That was such a broken sentence. I don't know what happens there. Jill and Sam arrive at Sweetwater to find a crowd of somber wedding guests standing around the outdoor tables, now put to use as funeral buyers. Jill is horrified at the carnage. When one of the women bemoans that this should happen to the poor little miss on her wedding day, Jill informs the guests that she and Brett McBain were married a month earlier in New Orleans.
We were married a month earlier. We were married a month earlier in New Orleans.
As the burial comes to... Fuck it. No, Kieran, you can just do it. I'm sick of reading.
Okay. All right, pass over the reins. Thanks. As the burial comes to an end, the crowd... No.
It's the sentence.
As the burial comes to an end, the crowd discovers that the torn-off collar of a dust overcoat was found on a nail by the door. Oof, that is I don't know why
it's
that's a
not
weird
a good
sentence,
is it?
Yeah, this marks the massacre as Cheyenne's work. The men form a posse and ride off to track down the outlaw and hang him. Sam offers to drive Jill back to Flagstone, but she says she will stay at Sweetwater. That evening, she ransacks the McBain household looking for anything of value that might have been hidden away. To me, it was obvious she was looking for a ring.
No. I thought there was more nefarious. I thought she was looking for a deed or something like that.
Okay, all right. It would have been better if she was looking for a ring. That way she could have made herself like his bride.
But she already was his bride.
Okay, fair enough. At the town laundry in Flagstone that night, the harmonica puts the laundryman Wobbles.
What a brilliant name.
Fuck's sake. I didn't get that, by the way, that he was called Wobbles.
Mm-mm.
Harmonica puts the laundryman Wobbles through a violent interrogation, wanting to know why Frank didn't show up at the train. Wobbles doesn't know.
I don't know.
He only arranged the meeting. Harmonica suspects Frank was occupied at McBain's farm just then, but Wobbles insists otherwise.
I insist otherwise.
In fact, here's a quote here. Cheyenne did the job. Everyone knows that. We got proof.
Cheyenne did the job. Everybody knows that. We got the proof.
That's decent. Harmonica doesn't believe it.
I don't believe it.
That was always one of Frank's tricks, faking evidence.
That was always...
No, this is Harmonica.
Always one of Frank's tricks, faking evidence.
Jill finds a group of miniature buildings stored away in a trunk, including a model train station with a fancy swinging sign that says, Station. She hears the sound of a harmonica outside and fires a shotgun into the darkness. The sound of the harmonica moves farther away. In the morning, as she is about to leave for good, she finds Cheyenne on her doorstep. While his men wait outside, he barges in. And asks for coffee. He tells of being chased by the posse all night and helps make the fire for coffee. He says he would never kill a kid.
I would never kill a kid.
I ain't the mean bastard people make out.
Okay, great
effort. He decided to come to take a look at the scene of his supposed crime. Not only is he annoyed that someone is trying to blame him, but neither he nor Jill can understand why the killings happened at all. The place looks so worthless. He imagines that McBain must have hidden the treasure away somewhere. Jill tells him that if so, she couldn't find it. Aware that she is vulnerable to any sort of mistreatment Cheyenne and his men might deal out, she serves the coffee.
Here I am, serving the coffee, as I am aware.
Here we go, let's finish this off. It's not nearly finished, but here we go. In a private railroad car, Morton, Gabriele, I think, probably be the pronunciation. A crippled and dying railroad tycoon berates Frank for killing the McBains. He only wanted Frank to scare McBain, not to kill him. And now a Mrs. McBain has shown up, making the killings pointless. Morton began building his railroad in sight of the Atlantic Ocean, and he means to build his way to the Pacific before he dies. He hired Frank to remove small obstacles from the tracks, but Frank intends to become a wealthy businessman himself. Morton tells Frank he will never be like Morton because Frank doesn't understand that money is more powerful than guns. So I think this here, by the way, is the most important plot point and the thing that kind of makes the rest of the film.
Which isn't very well explained in the film.
No.
I feel like that bit went...
So
maybe I fell asleep during that bit. Or...
I was fully awake, but I didn't understand why the McBains were killed. So Morton didn't want the McBains to build a railroad. Is that what it is?
Well, I think he wanted that area or that land, or he wanted to do it himself, it seems, from that.
And he would have just bought that land afterwards.
With his plans to build to be a railroad tycoon.
Okay. After sharing a congenial interlude with Jill, that's a very nice way to put it. Like, would you like to share a congenial interlude?
What does that mean?
Well, they had like a nice little aside time. Cheyenne finishes his coffee and rides away with his men. Jill takes her traveling bags out to the wagon, but Harmonica is there and demands that she stays. As he throws her down roughly and begins ripping off her clothes, Jill becomes alarmed. Instead of harming her, I mean, it's debatable. I think he already has by removing her clothes. He simply removes the white trimmings from her black dress. Leaving her in full mourning. Oh, I see. As in mourning, like she's just wearing black now.
Oh.
So I don't agree with that.
All right, mate.
They go to the well for a drink of water, only to be attacked by two more of Frank's men. Harmonica kills them, and from a nearby vantage point, Cheyenne sees how handy Harmonica is with a gun. Jill goes to the laundry and asks Wobbles to tell... I just said his name really weirdly.
Warbles.
Jill goes to the laundry and asks Wobbles...
Look at that jelly. It's warbling.
Shut up. To tell Frank... By the way, Wobbles looks really like Jack Black, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
To tell Frank she knows everything and wants to negotiate with Frank personally. Wobbles denies knowing anyone named Frank, but Jill repeats her demand and leaves. Wobbles heads out to Morton's private train, unaware the Harmonica is following him. Morton scolds him for coming there, but Wobbles says he wasn't followed, and he thought Morton and Frank would want to know about Mrs. McBain. When Frank sees Harmonica's shadow on the ground, he knows someone is on the roof, and he signals the train to start moving. Stopping in the open country, Frank captures Harmonica. A blurry flashback appears of an indistinct man walking through a desert landscape, but no explanation is given. Frank has Harmonica brought on board and bound. He kicks Wobbles off the train, literally, and shoots him down just as Wobbles is about to reveal the presence of Cheyenne hiding in the train's undercarriage. Harmonica lets Frank know that the two men he sent to kill Jill are themselves dead. Realizing this is the man who wanted to meet with him, Frank asks Harmonica who he is. Harmonica answers with the name of two men Frank had killed. Morton interrupts the interrogation to remind Frank that he has more urgent business, the woman. Taken to horseback, Frank rides away with three of his men to do away with Mrs. McBain himself. He leaves three men behind. Yeah, is this right? Yeah. He leaves three men behind on the train to guard Harmonica and to keep an eye on Morton, whom he doesn't trust. Frank tells the men to meet him at the Navajo Cliff, and the train gets underway again. Over the next few minutes, Cheyenne craftily disposes of the three gunmen one by one and sets Harmonica free. They now have Morton in their power, but they will deal with him later, choosing to stop the train and to ride to Jill's aid. At Sweetwater, Jill is puzzled by the arrival of a large amount of lumber and building supplies that McBain ordered. Since he paid cash, it all belongs to her. Neither the lumberman nor Sam can say what it's for, but there are enough materials to build at least 8 buildings. When the lumbermen show her a blank sign and ask if she knows what should go on it, she recognizes the outline from the miniature train station and tells him that it should say station.
Station.
Inside the house, she looks through the trunk again for the model train station. Just then, Frank captures her. At the Navajo Cliff, Morton offers to buy Sweetwater to avoid more killing. He's had enough of Frank's butcher tactics. He doesn't have time to compete with Frank, but away from his train, Morton looks weak and pathetic, no competition as far as at all as far as Frank is concerned. Frank kicks away one of his crutches, sending Morton sprawling face first. I could squash you like a wormy apple. Frank tells some of his men to take Morton back to the train and to watch him. At Sweetwater, Cheyenne and his men are just as puzzled by the building supplies as Jill was. Harmonica paces off the dimensions of a train station while... Who just knows the dimension of a train station?
Yeah.
You know the dimension of a train station?
Yeah, just 7 by...
Okay. While explaining to Cheyenne what he has seen in a document. McBain was planning to build a town at Sweetwater, which has the only water supply for 50 miles west of Flagstone. Since trains need lots of water to make steam, the railroad must inevitably come through Sweetwater. McBain contracted for the rights to operate the depot himself, provided it was built by the time the tracks reached it. Knowing that the rail gangs are just over the hill, Cheyenne puts his men to work building the station. Inside a ruin at the Navajo Cliff, Frank enjoys an intimate interlude with his captive, Jill. He remarks that she will do anything to stay alive and that it seems she can't resist a man's touch, even the touch of the man who killed her husband. Frank knows from inquiries sent over the telegraph that Jill was one of the most popular prostitutes in New Orleans until she married McBain. As he undresses her, he thinks of marrying her himself to take over the land. Realizing he would make a bad husband, he comes up with a quicker, simpler solution. Jill sits in quiet resignation in the saloon of Flagstone, where people have gathered for a land auction. One of Frank's men hovers over her, and several more are scattered through the crowd, ready to intimidate anyone who even starts to make a bid. It's Frank's way of getting the property for himself cheaply. The sheriff, Keenan Wynn... I didn't need to read that. The sheriff reluctantly gets the auction underway. Meanwhile, Morton, aboard his train, senses that his dream of seeing the Pacific is growing remote. Can you say, oh no, please?
Oh no.
He joins a game of poker with 4 of Frank's men who are now his captors. Instead of dealing out cards, he deals out $500 to each of the men to buy their allegiance to him.
500 for you, 500 for you, 500 for you, 500 for you, 500 for you.
Back at the land auction, one of Frank's still loyal men bids $500 for the farm.
$500.
Just as the sheriff is about to close the sale, Harmonica calls out a bid of $5,000. Can you say $5,000?
$5,000.
In what is most likely a scheme devised by both men, Harmonica brings in an indignant Cheyenne at gunpoint and turns him in for the reward money to cover for his bid.
I'm turning him.
The sheriff puts... that was great.
I'm turning him.
The sheriff puts Cheyenne under guard on the train, bound to Yuma, where there is a new, strong, modern prison that is much more secure than the local jail. But 2 of Cheyenne's men follow him onto the train after buying one-way tickets to the next station. Meanwhile, one of the men on Morton's train rides into town to tell the others what transpired in the poker game. Jill is grateful.
I'm so grateful
That Harmonica has saved the farm for her.
Thanks for saving the farm for me.
And she begins to look at him more warmly.
Ooh.
Frank enters the saloon and offers Harmonica $5,000 for the farm.
$5,000.
Plus one more silver dollar profit.
Silver dollar, bro.
Again, he asks Harmonica's name, and Harmonica answers with the name of 2 more dead men. They were all alive until they met you, Frank. Again, the blurred flashback appears, but the image of Frank walking through the desert becomes clearer than before. Harmonica rejects the offer, but uses Frank's silver dollar to pay for his drink. Having noticed suspicious activity outside, Harmonica goes to watch from the upstairs window and balcony, breaking into the room where Jill is taking a steamy bath. Frank steps out of the saloon onto the street.
Stepping out of the saloon.
And into a deadly cat and mouse game.
Oh no, cat and mouse.
His former men, now Morton's men, tried to gun him down, but with some timely assistance from Harmonica, Frank manages to kill them instead and rides out. Jill is furious at Harmonica for saving Frank's life.
I'm so furious.
He tells her, I didn't let them kill him, and that's not the same thing. Frank discovers the aftermath of a gun battle at Morton's train. Bodies of Frank's men and Cheyenne's men lie strewn along the tracks and in Morton's private car. He finds Morton crawling desperately to a nearby mud puddle. Frank draws and cocks his gun to finish him off and then decides to let him suffer. Morton dies with the sound of ocean waves crashing in his mind.
Wow. Well, that was just...
Totally missed that.
Yeah.
The track laying crew is reaching Sweetwater at last, and construction crew are busily turning the stacks of lumber into the beginnings of a town. Harmonica sits at the farmyard gate as Cheyenne comes riding awkwardly in and goes inside. Not quite his usual self, he again asks for coffee, which Jill has ready this time. They both sense that outside something important is about to happen with Harmonica. Cheyenne, he's whittling on a piece of wood. I got a feeling that when he starts whittling, something's going to happen. Frank rides up to the gate and Harmonica stops whittling. They exchange a few words. Frank admits he'll never be a businessman. Can you say just a man?
Just a man.
They acknowledge they're of an ancient race being killed off by the coming of the modern age, arriving right next to them as they speak. Then Frank, an ancient race? You're cowboys. For fuck's sake.
We is ancient cowboys.
Then Frank gets to the business between them. The future don't matter to us. Nothing matters now. Not the land, not the money, not the woman. I came here to see you. Because I know that now you'll tell me what you're after. Only at the point of dying. Harmonica tells him. Frank says, can you say I know?
I know.
And they stride out into the farmyard to face off for the final show. Inside, Cheyenne begins to clean up and shave whilst he watches the railroad move up. He tells Jill she should have water out to the workers at the tracks, letting them enjoy the sight of a beautiful woman. And if one of them should pat her behind, she should let them make believe it's nothing. They earned it. Yeah, I fucking loved that line.
Yeah, that's good, wasn't it?
As Frank and Harmonica square up a few feet apart, preparing to duel, Harmonica remembers his history with Frank. In the flashback, a young Frank strides out of the desert to the isolated ruin of a Spanish mission, a lone arch with a bell hanging at the top. He places a brand new harmonica into the young man's mouth, telling him to keep his loving brother happy. The youth's hands are bound behind him, and his older brother, also bound, is standing on his shoulders with a noose around his neck. Frank and his men wait for the inevitable moment when the boy's legs will give way and will complete the hanging. The doomed man curses Frank and kicks the younger brother away. The harmonica drops out of the young man's mouth and he falls into the dust. Harmonica and Frank draw and shoot. Frank turns around and staggers a few steps before he falls onto his knees. He asks Harmonica again, Who are you? In answer, Harmonica places the old, beaten-up harmonica into Frank's mouth. This is how it's written. Frank's remembers. He sees the image of the boy falling into the dust and the harmonica dropping out of his mouth. Frank falls lifelessly into the dust and the harmonica drops out of his mouth. Cheyenne tells Jill he's not the right man for her, but neither is Harmonica. There's nothing inside a man like that, he tells her, something to do with death. Once Harmonica has dealt with Frank, he will come inside, pick up his things and move on. Harmonica comes in and, true to Cheyenne's prediction, picks up his belongings and tells Jill he has to go. Jill is wearing a dress whose top reveals her cleavage. Oh. They share a lingering look, and then he goes to the front door and surveys the developing street scene outside. It's going to be a beautiful town, Sweetwater, he says. Jill hopes he will come back someday. With a doubtful someday, Harmonica leaves. Cheyenne too says goodbye and pats Jill on the behind, telling her to make believe it's nothing. As the two men ride away, Cheyenne pauses and gets off his horse before dropping to the ground. Harmonica discovers that Cheyenne has been gut shot. I think that's supposed to be gunshot.
Gut shot. Yeah, shot in the gut.
Okay. Shot in the gut. Cheyenne has been gut shot, the work of Morton himself during the gun battle on the train. Cheyenne asks Harmonica to go away. He doesn't want Harmonica to see him die. Harmonica turns away as soon as he hears Cheyenne fall over dead. Just then, the work train rolls into Sweetwater and stops at the station, which has its station sign in place. Harmonica takes Cheyenne's body away as Jill carries water out to the newly arrived railroad workers. Film ends.
God. That was long, wasn't it?
Fuck me, that took so long. That was just fucking boring. I'm not gonna lie. Not just reading the plot, but watching the film itself, I was just spending so long waiting for something to goddamn happen.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time I've written, come on!
Yeah, I fell asleep. I started, you know when you start drifting in and out?
Yeah.
I was doing that, where was it? Well, I can't remember because I was falling asleep. It was that bit with the train.
which bit with that's so much of the film. Which bit with the train?
Just before the
bit with the horse?
The tycoon guy dies.
Okay.
Just somewhere around there,
Yeah.
I was just drifting in and out because I was like, I just can't even, nothing is happening here. Literally nothing. And then I think something happened and I was like, oh wait, maybe I should sit up.
So let's get into some beefs properly.
Okay. First beef, right at the start, where there's the free trench. First of all, just way too many zooming in on people's faces.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I wanted to actually just go back and find out how long this film is if you just take the shots of people's faces. I reckon that's the bulk of the film.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd probably be about 2 hours.
Well, that's the same thing as with Stalker, isn't it?
Yeah.
How you could make the film so much shorter just by having just the dialogue or like the essential points to linger or the essential points to look at people's faces. Like if that's all there was in these films, the film would be massively reduced.
I think the only reason why this film must be good, I don't like Westerns.
Yeah,
but if
I
I
decided
did,
that I don't like him either.
I feel like this would hit all of the beats that you need in a Western.
Yes.
It felt very, very stylistic.
Yeah, me too. I feel like this might be a Western that other ones are
Based around,
yeah.
or yeah.
One of my beefs, just before the whole family gets shot, Maureen, did you see the way she was cutting bread?
No?
It was fucked. Okay, so imagine holding a loaf of bread to your chest. So you hold the loaf of bread to your chest with like the flat bit on your chest, right? And have the knife, just like imagine cutting bread normally on a fucking chopping board, but instead of the chopping board, make the chopping board your chest and just fucking cut towards your chest. What?
Well, that's probably why he wanted...
I have no words.
I was about to say, that's probably why he said to her that she'll be getting sliced bread soon. But he didn't say that, did he? He just said you could make slices as big as a door because they hadn't invented sliced bread by then.
No, sliced bread wasn't a thing yet. No.
So nothing was as great as sliced bread back then.
No, what do you say?
Everything there is worse than sliced bread. Well, it's almost sliced bread.
But it isn't quite yet because we don't know how good that is. Yeah. But like the way she was cutting bread was completely fucked. It's I just can't explain, because you know there's like technique for cutting things, yeah? And it's like, oh, you got to make sure your fingers are out the way.
Yeah.
This is the worst possible technique you could use. Just
get a knife and sort of jam it towards your body.
And make it so that you're probably going to cut yourself every single time you do a slice. It's just, that was just infuriating. And it was from that point I just thought, okay, this is going to have a lot of bullshit in it. And it did. Okay, Jordan, next beef, please. Let's go.
There's the right at the start where the guy...
Sorry, that was really bossy. I'm really sorry. I'm just angry.
Fine. Right at the start where the guy's got a fly around his face and he's just trying to blow it away. And it's literally about 2 minutes. I mean, that doesn't sound like long, but just 2 minutes of a person's face with a fly on it. And he's just trying to blow it away by blowing it with his mouth.
Yeah.
Because, and then he gives up and uses his hand. I was thinking throughout the whole of that thing that he couldn't use his hand because something. Like,
no, he's being lazy.
Yeah, no, but he was just wanted to blow it with his mouth. It's like, just do it. Just give up. Just hit it with your hand.
And also, he wasn't blowing it.
Why would you? It was on his lip. Like it's in your mouth, mate. Get rid of it. Don't just try and like shoo it away.
McBain's. Is that her name?
Yeah,
Mrs. McBain's. Her makeup seemed too much for like 1700s.
Yeah, and what's up with that hat?
The hat was a bit
weird,
silly. I mean, it kind of suited her hairstyle and whatever.
Yeah,
but she had like full mascara and like eyeliner, and I thought like in the 1700s.
Yeah, a hat.
I don't know.
A hat though.
You're really
like,
not happy with the hat.
It's, like it was.
Tell me more
like
about the hat.
Her hair went around the hat. It was like if you have, like Marge Simpson's hair, and you just squashed a hat down in the middle, and the hair parts around the hat.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her hair was a bit extra. And
what's up with like what the hell is her deal? Like I can't tell if the film wants me to think that she's like some sort of hard woman,
or if she's a slut.
Yeah.
Or if she is a really lovely.
What is she? It's like back then they just didn't. Well, they just had no idea how to actually write a compelling female character.
That sounds about accurate.
That
to be
sounds
honest.
about accurate, yeah, for
Yeah.
like men writing a Western film.
Also, when she said, "Oh, women didn't die from," so she's like, "Oh, if you and your men want to bend me over a table and have your way with me, women never died from that, and all I need will be a tub of boiling water, and then I'll be
That
fine."
sounds like that was written by a man.
Yeah, exactly, because women have died from rape,
Yeah.
actually. So
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be just some boiling water to get over it.
yeah, so that was evidently written by someone who had no consideration for women at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like we both had some issues with the stuff that was concerning her.
Yeah. Harmonica?
Oh,
How'd you feel about that guy?
oh, shut up! Just, I was so honestly, Jordan. By the third time that the harmonica came in, I was so done with it. I was so through. I was vocally being like, "Oh my god!" every single time it came in. I was just no.
Yeah, it did get very annoying.
Also, because like they made a big point of it being that he was playing it every single time.
Yeah, but
and then there were times where
wasn't, and it was obvious.
Yeah, like the camera was on him, but he wasn't playing it, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" Did you notice all of the vocal overdubs? By the way,
yeah, there did seem like quite a few of them.
loads of overdubs that were just really badly done, and I was like, "How am I supposed to believe in this film?" You know?
Yeah, I've got one of my notes is his son dubbed.
What?
Is his son dubbed? Like, I think it was right at the start of the film.
Oh yeah, probably.
His son that is not his voice, or it's just not coming.
It just
so common in films like that are old that they don't have the real voices and stuff. It's so weird.
It's really frustrating this kind of film, because I can maybe see like why people like it, because it does a really good job to portray a specific time, and like in terms of the costumes and the scenery and everything, and
yeah,
maybe like the action was compelling when there finally fucking was action. It was quite compelling, but the script, like there were maybe two scenes that were like, oh, the tension here is actually palpable, like the tension here is actually decent, and the rest of the scenes where the tension was supposed to be there felt like Yojimbo tension scenes. Where it was just like, okay, there's some fake ass tension here. Like the scene where the guy was like running around on the roof, and so like when Harmonica was telling Frank to stand and to shoot, like after they made the negotiation deal with, that was a good tension scene.
Yeah, that was alright.
But there were plenty full of crap tension scenes.
Well, yeah, it's just too many of like nothing really happening and staring at someone's face. It's like as if that's just going to create tension if we just zoom in on the face.
And I'm thinking, if people bought a ticket to go to the cinema to see this film, would you not feel absolutely robbed?
Yeah, I would be.
I felt like, go on.
The last scene, it's almost like right at the end, they zoom in as far as they can, and it's just his eyes, and it's like, I don't get it. Who was he? Was he supposed to be the kid that had the harmonica in his mouth? Do you reckon?
Yeah, that was obvious. Yeah.
That
much was obvious right at the end.
Very similar at all. They look like very different people.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe a lot can change. Puberty, you know.
They look like different ethnicities.
Probably. I don't know.
Right.
Oh,
well,
on the subject of ethnicities.
Yeah.
Another one of those films where everyone who isn't white is in a job of servitude or labor.
Yeah, except from that one black-ish guy at the start of the film.
Yes.
He looked really cool.
So I was really pissed off that the water dropping on his hat at one point was just like, I was like, okay, what's the point of us just waiting? Yeah. But then when he went to take a drink from it, so there was water spilling on his head.
Yeah.
And then he put his hat on. Yeah. And then he still had the hat on when the water was dripping. And I was like, why am I still waiting? This is fucking long in my life. And then he took a drink. I was like, that's clever.
That's a smart cowboy.
That is a smart cowboy. But then fucking came in, and it was just like...
It was just a bit flat there.
Yeah. There were maybe 2 or 3 full orchestral themes, then there plus the one harmonica theme. And that is all the music there was.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What about the slap noises, though? Does that count as music?
No, it doesn't count as music. They were stupid, and just like the punch sound effects. Also, when he was hammering nails into the ground, when he was marking out the train station, that was badly overdubbed. Like the sound was happening before he hit the thing into the fucking ground.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
And but when I say like the 3 musical themes, like it was the theme when he looks over the whole city. Like when he comes out of the train station and everyone looks at the whole city, or sorry, when fucking Jill is coming out of the train station with the guy with fucking Sam, and then you see the whole city, and it's like a big emotional piece of music, and it's like, here is the setting of the film, la 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 la. That piece of music was in several times throughout the film.
Oh yeah,
at different points where it was like inappropriate.
Yeah,
and I was like, for fuck's sake, like whoever composed the music,
they ran
for this
out of
film,
music, and that was what they had to work with.
Like the composer just got commissioned for 4 pieces, and it's like, well, let's just recycle this material because it's clearly good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, bollocks. It's just shit.
It's not good enough.
No, take your finger out your ass and do some work. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably earning bank.
Yeah, probably, but still not good enough. And I don't.
Okay, so I've got a favorite quote.
Yeah, please.
How do you trust a man that wears belt and suspenders? A man who can't even trust his own pants. Yeah,
I really like that. Yeah, I wrote that down as well. Yeah, that was really cool.
I mean, these Billy Belt and braces guys walking around like you can trust them. They don't even trust their own trousers.
Yeah, silly.
I liked it, yeah.
Wally.
How can you trust a man who can't trust his trousers, though, Kieran?
That is a very good point. And at what point do you not trust your own trousers? Is if you wear suspenders and braces, of course. But in these days, people might not wear suspenders and braces. Maybe, in fact, I just went on. I'm having a conversation by myself right now. But maybe people are trusting their trousers a lot by either A, wearing them without a belt or braces, or B, wearing them really low. They're putting a lot of faith into their own trousers, and they believe that they will still stay in the same place.
Well, I think maybe we need to think about. I mean, you're placing all of the trust and lack of trust around the idea that the trousers are going to fall. What if actually we have a lack of trust for trousers because they may sell government secrets to other items of clothing?
Do you think they hold the secrets in the pockets, and then when you turn them inside out, when they put them in the wash, that's when all the secrets can fall out?
Yeah, and they get condensed into hard secret balls.
What, like a tissue?
Which, yeah.
Which spreads all over the washing machine and goes everywhere.
Yeah. No, but that falls out your pocket.
Oh.
Yeah, and then a Russian spy picks it up.
Okay. Is that what it is?
That's how we got Trump.
So... Okay. All right. We started off with baby sex, and then you just did fucking the long jump.
It's the triple jump, isn't it?
Yeah. So you did all the little steps for the sprint. Hip, skip, jump. Skip, hop, jump. That's what it is.
So, do you want to do some bits and bobs? I mean, to be honest, I've not really got much in the way of bits and bobs, other than just that the slap noises were ridiculous.
Yeah, they were silly. I do have admiration for the scenery, and like for the like, I was transported back into that time. I just had no patience for it.
Yeah.
So I could believe the scenery, and I could believe the characters and the people, which was, I guess, like commendable enough.
Did you have a favorite character?
It was difficult because I wrote down at the end that I don't care, like in the standoff, you know, when there was fucking Frank and Harmonica. I wrote down that I kind of want Harmonica to win, but ultimately I just want this thing to end. Did you have a favourite character?
Cheyenne, until he started being a bit of a sexist pig at the end. I thought he was kind of funny and interesting up until that point.
Did you not think it was quite sexist of him to just presume that she would have coffee on the go? And to be taking the piss when he's like, oh, I'll do the coffee then because you stupid woman, you can't do it.
Is that what he said?
Well, that's what it felt like to me.
Okay, have you got anyone you'd want to be?
I would be Jill and not take the shit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because especially when Frank was getting with her, I think she should have just like been like, shut the fuck up, stop taking the piss out of me. Just bang me, and then we'll have a good time, and that'll be it. Like, I don't want to take your emotional and verbal abuse right now. Also, when Harmonica comes along and says, "Give me some water," get it yourself. Make your own coffee, Cheyenne. You know, be more bossy because she's the attractive woman in this film.
Yeah, own that.
Yeah, exactly. She could also have taken more money for the ranch. I know all she wanted to do was sell it, but like, come on.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on
$200 as a starting bid was a bit of a low
I
blow.
think she was being forced to accept the bids.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
But yeah.
But yeah, I think she could have asserted a lot more power if she wanted to. What about you?
So I would be little Timmy at the beginning of the film.
Oh, what a fuck, little Timmy, and just classic stupid name for a little kid, by the way.
So I'd hide and not be killed, and then make the whole film a revenge story about little Timmy.
Very good.
I thought that would be a little bit more interesting.
I thought that's what was
going to happen as well. So I thought we'd have like a time skip, maybe like I don't know,
like 10 years.
Nah, like 6 years when he's like
13.
Yeah. No, and then we skip again.
Oh,
so we have 3 skips. One where he's like a teenager and he's like being unruly and wants his revenge. Gets into like a group of outlaws or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we'll skip again later and then we find he's like an adult now and he's like running the outlaws or something like that. And it's like now he's harmonicas level of being able to shoot and stuff like that. Just, like go a little journey with him and then.
Would harmonicas still be around?
No, fuck him. Get rid of it. I was about to go maybe, but no, get rid of him.
All right, that's good.
Who would you bring in?
I'd bring in Decker from Blade Runner.
Okay.
The reason why is because I feel like he could do with a lot of target practice.
Yeah.
Because say what you like about these guys, they can fucking shoot some guns.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
they were very like the guys who could shoot, they could shoot goddamn well. And so I feel like if Decker came around, he would kind of just be like on a work placement. It'd just be like, hi, just a little tap of the mug there.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, there you go. They'd be having a meal, and he'd be like, "Hello, I'd like to make an announcement. I would like to learn from all of you how to shoot a gun. I'm from the future. Don't ask too many questions, but we have guns that are better than yours, but you're better at shooting them. So I'd like to learn." I think he could do a great deal of benefit, and he could earn a lot.
Yeah.
And he would benefit from it greatly. That's what I tried to say.
Okay.
Who would you bring in?
I would bring in I've forgotten his name now.
Good.
Guy from There Will Be Blood.
Plainview, Daniel Plainview.
Yeah, Daniel Plainview.
I thought you'd bring him in.
And just add him to the mix.
Of course.
Might actually make things interesting, spice some stuff up, have a compelling actor in there.
That guy can negotiate.
Yeah.
His voice is so much better than all of their voices.
Yeah.
And he'd get a well good price.
Yeah.
He'd be able to. He'd have bought the land years ago.
Yeah, he would. This film would not need to happen. That's what I do. I bring him in, have him sort out the land already, and then everything's fine, and we don't have to watch this.
Exactly. And also, if he was around at this time, he'd be able to wrap up the water and then later on the oil.
Yes.
So that's pretty good.
More bang for your buck.
Yeah, exactly. He'd have been banking like way before the oil rush.
Okay, so would you stay indoors?
Fuck no.
No. Yeah.
What an enormous waste of time.
Yeah, wow. It's one of those ones again, Kieran, where I really feel like we've done everyone a justice. Don't watch this film. We
did the work. We put ourselves through it, so you don't have to.
Yeah. Don't watch this film.
Don't try this at home. Seriously.
Just say no.
Yeah, exactly. No means no.
So next week we'll be watching Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah, because that's the part 2.
Yeah, so pray for us, children. Hopefully it won't be as shit as this.
Are you looking forward to it, Jordan?
I've got to say no. I was until I watched this.
Yeah, I'm slightly more optimistic.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But I'm only because I don't want to go into it feeling like it's going to be terrible, because then it will be. Also, I'm committing to watching the full trilogy, even though we're not doing an episode in each one. I know that you're not, and that's okay.
Shout out, Kieran.
No, we'll do the voice.
No, you don't get one.
Why not?
You don't, because you're here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
So I'll be watching. Duck You Sucker.
Duck You Sucker.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. So I'll be watching that. And if that's also terrible, then I'm really not going to have high hopes for Once Upon a Time in America. But we'll see.
Yeah. So join us next time for another adventure through the land of time.
See you later, kids.
Bye.
Bye. at 250 Reasons, we like to make your life a little bit easier. And one of the ways that we can do that is by providing you with a button that says subscribe. And the way this is going to make your life easier is that if you press this button, then it means that episodes get automatically downloaded to your phone, tablet, device, whatever, every single week that we release them on a Sunday. So they are ready for your morning commute or wherever you like to listen to our episodes. So go do that. Also, if you're on Apple Podcast, leave us a glowing 5-star review. We'll shout you out. It'll be very nice. And if you've made one and you're still listening and we haven't mentioned it, then email us at 250reasons@gmail.com. And we'll say sorry, and we'll also shout you out.
Yeah, sorry. We literally get so many 5-star reviews. We can't keep on top of them.
So many. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.